Hey, Melissa here. Um, so there's going to be a number of different videos here on this page, but I really wanted to start with this one, and that's why Young Living is so different. I know that there's sometimes confusion in the marketplace where you can walk into a Bed Bath & Beyond or a Whole Foods and find a bottle of essential oil. It's not really the same. It's kind of like getting a hamburger at McDonald's or getting a hamburger at a very high-end steakhouse. They're two very different things. They're both called a hamburger, but the quality of the meat that's in there, what it's going to do to your body, they're very, very different. One is harmful to your body and one not so much. Not saying that red meat is fantastic for you, but one of them is going to be a lot better than the other. So one of the stories that I always tell in my classes is the story of Blue Tansy. When I got my starter kit back in 2014, it had two oils in it that were taken out of the kit about a year and a half after. One was called Valor. One was called Peace and Calming. These two oils were so popular across the Young Living community that they were getting, just scooped up like all the time. I mean, everyone was like obsessed with these two. I was more obsessed with Valor than with Peace and Calming because I actually went the opposite way on Peace and Calming, which is accredited to my longstanding attention deficit disorder, but that's also a video for another day. So anywho, I was obsessed with Valor. I loved it. It was fantastic. So both of those products had Blue Tansy in them. We had a really terrible season with Blue Tansy a couple of years back. Therefore, we didn't have enough to continue using it in different blends. So what happened was they pulled it off the shelf. They basically said, okay, guys, you've got 2 weeks left to scoop up whatever you can. After that, we're pulling it. So for almost, I think it was 2.5 years, they were pulled off the shelf. And to think of a company that would do that, just be like, no, we ran out. Sorry. And it was like, wait, what? What happened during those 2 years is what differentiates Young Living from a lot of different companies, not only essential oil companies, just companies in general, and the ethics to which they do things. So what happened was they went to a third party and they said, hey, do you guys have Blue Tansy? And the third party was like, yeah, we do. Check it out. And they tested it with third party testing. And it came back fine. The third party testing was like, that's great. We tested it in-house in Young Living with our specialists, with our stuff, and it didn't come back to our standards. Well, I'm sure it was good enough for some people. It was not good enough for Young Living's standards. So we said no. And they were very confused. They said, wait, we're giving you this product so that you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars with it. And they were like, nah, not worth it. Thanks. And that was the level of ethics right there. And it was, basically not compromising the product. They basically said, no, we've committed to our members that these are our standards. And just because there is a bad crop of Blue Tansy does not mean that we are lowering our standards. Sorry, guys, deal with the fact that this product is out of stock because we're not going to give you something that's, not our level. So that was really, really amazing. You will be happy to know Blue Tansy is doing just fine. We, in those 2 years, in conjunction with going out and seeking Blue Tansy, we were able to purchase a big piece of land up in Canada. And that has, produced a number of different crops for us, Blue Tansy just being one of them. But obviously buying land in another country, farming that land, getting that first crop going, these are not quick things. These things take time. And so that's just kind of one of my stories. Young Living has a seed to seal process, and I will link that in the materials here. And it's just really awesome to watch. Just cool to watch how they've studied each and every plant. Idaho, forgive me, balsam fir it's farmed at the very, very top of Idaho. I mean, like touching Canada. Well, its peak potency is December. That sucks because nobody wants to be in the top of Idaho in December that doesn't have to be there. It is cold. It would be much more convenient to harvest that in September, maybe June. Awesome. But no, it is peak potency is in December. So that is when we harvest it. And each one of our oils has been studied and its peak potency has been studied. Therefore, we only harvest it at the peak potency. Each plant is dealt with differently because they're all different plants. They're all distilled in their own certain process. This many hours drying out, this many hours, in distillation. Every single plant is studied and treated as an individual plant, which is really cool. You really won't find that in other places. So take your time when you're, thinking about, the things that are out there. I mean, and do your research. Obviously, I did. My best friend Monica did. We chose Young Living because of these standards, because of their seed to seal process, because of their transparency. You can literally roll up to one of their farms and be like, hey, I'm a member. And they'll be like, what's your member number? And you give it to them. And then they're like, come on. And so you can see the distillery. You can see the farm. You can weed if you want to, because we don't allow we don't allow any chemicals on our farm. So everything is hand and hoe. So yeah, help us weed. But anyways, that's kind of a little bit of overview. It's one of the reasons why I picked Young Living, one of the reasons why I love Young Living. I feel very confident in buying products from Young Living where I wouldn't otherwise do so from other companies. Many, many times I would have bought a product and I would have had to read every single ingredient, study each ingredient. I would scan it with my little Think Dirty app and see how bad it was. And now I don't have to do that, which is awesome because Young Living standards and my household standards are the same. So everything that they're making and producing is okay with me, for our household, for me, for my children. So that's really cool too. So anyways, if you have more questions on Young Living in general, definitely hit me up. Email, text, Facebook, I'm around. So that's it. Thanks, guys.